There's no such thing as a bye week. I say it every single time any team's on bye. NC State, no such thing as a bye week. Panthers, no such thing as a bye week. Only a get better week. Coach speak. Put it on a sign, slap it on the wall, tap it every time you leave the facility. It's a get better week. Ted Lasso, believe. This is a week for the Panthers to improve. Here's the important part about a bye week. There's no scoreboard, which means the only positive or negative enforcement that a player will get is from the coaching staff, which is important, right? I mentioned, this is the way I tell all the time. Have I told you about the Korean golfers on E60? I think it was E60. May have been straight 60 minutes.
Okay.
This is from probably a decade ago. It was there was a South Korean golf academy for youth golfers, and they did not play golf on a course until they were like 16.
Interesting.
All they would do is hit into a net for hours on end with their coach sitting behind them. So after every swing, the only feedback they got was from their coach. Good, not good, tuck your elbow, move your feet, swing your hips, whatever. That was the only feedback they got. Because, see, here's what happens when, like, a traditional golfer learns by playing golf. Sometimes you have a terrible swing, and it still lands on the green. And guess what that is? That is positive feedback for a negative action, right? That is a bad swing. You scull it. You hit it fat. You hit it thin. You don't do what you're supposed to do. You come over the top all funny. Your feet slip, but it ends up 2 feet to the green, 2 feet to the hole. So your brain goes, oh, look at that. That was good. That was good. I should swing like that more often, and you're reinforced for bad habits. So now let's put that into football terms, right? Let's say they try, I don't know, changing the offense with a new play caller. And just because change is hard, they come out in the first game and the offense doesn't go well, right? They're getting used to a new offense. They're getting used to a new play caller, so the first quarter doesn't work. Even though they're doing the right things, they're trying, they're adjusting, they're making those changes, but they're down 21-0 after the first quarter. That's the result, the scoreboard saying, hey, you're doing all the right things, bad things are happening. That must be a bad thing. Why don't you go back to what you were doing? Or vice versa, right? If you're out there and you make a bad read, but your receiver catches it anyway, that's your brain's going to go, oh, look at that. That wasn't a bad read. That was a good read.
Yeah, it worked.
I should do that again next time, pick six, right? Whatever it is. So in practice, in a bye week when there's no scoreboard, all of the positive and negative reinforcement you get is from the coaches. So that's why it's such a good time. And you hope you don't have to do it often, but I've done that a few times. The Panthers have done it 2 of the last 3 years. That's why changing the play caller during a bye week is so much more advantageous, right? Everyone's like, oh, you get 2 weeks to install. I think it's almost more important to have 2 weeks where you don't have a scoreboard to tell you this is going poorly. Because for the first week with a new play caller, it's going to go poorly, right? It's going to be a rhythm thing. He's not going to be in rhythm. You're not going to be able to anticipate anything because it's all unexpected. They need to improve where the only feedback they get is from the coaching staff, right? They might have a rough day of practice today. Matter of fact, I would be surprised if the offense doesn't have 2 or 3 fairly bad days of practice this week. But guess what? As long as they go into meetings and Thomas Brown and Frank Reich are saying, hey, listen, you're doing everything we've asked of you. You're getting better. This is good. You're fine. Keep doing it. You're good. This is fine. You're good. They'll go, all right, well, let's keep plowing through that. Let's keep pushing through this. Rather than, man, I did everything you said, and we're down 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. I'm going back. I'm not listening to you anymore. Those things are tough. Also, bye week, and I think this is very important for Bryce Young. Get the heck away from the facility. I hope they gave Bryce Young a day and night off.
Yes.
Like, don't show up on Monday and don't be here till after lunch on Tuesday, which means you can do something Monday night without having to worry about being up at 5 o'clock to be in the facility on Tuesday. Like, take 48 hours off or 40 hours off. Like I think that's important for Bryce Young. By all accounts, Bryce Young is one of those obsessed workers and is going to try to uncover every stone and do everything possible, which is good. You want that. Send him home and say, I love that you want to be here. I'm not allowing you to be here.
Yeah.
Right. We talked about it yesterday with the Canes. Sometimes players don't know what's best for them, right? Because we were talking about who Orlov should be playing in the third pairing for the Canes. Should it be with Chatfield or D'Angelo? And we had the discussion of, should you ask Orlov? And I was going, well, actually, Orlov might not know who he plays best with. He might have a guy he likes, but the coaching staff might know better who he pairs well with on the line. This might be a situation where if Bryce Young's like, on the bye week, I'm going to be there every day. I'm going to be grinding. I need to watch more film. I need to more analysis. I need more. The coach has to look at him and go, I know what's best for you. Like, go home. Do you like video games? Do you like movies? Do you like golf? What do you do? Go do it. Get the heck away from here. And then lastly, this bye week is a good time. We talked about this earlier. I'm going to try to explain it again. To choose your core, right? The trade deadline is less than 2 weeks away. Choose who you want to build this team around, not just for the rest of this season, but the next 3 seasons. And empower those players, right? If it's Bryce Young, and it better be Bryce Young. If it's Derek Brown or Brian Burns, probably I would say Derek Brown because Brian Burns brings in more on the trade market. Is it Ike Ekwonu? Like pick your players. Is it somebody maybe a little bit older that you want to keep around? Is it J.C. Horn? Right? And he's not that much older, but is it J.C. Horn? Is it like a Xavier Woods?
Mm-hmm.
Pick your guys that you want to be the core of your team and empower them. They might not be the captains this year. They might not be the guys who started off as the loudest voices in the locker room, but slowly start building them up with the little things, right? I'm not saying like, hey, today we're the coaches are going to stay quiet and the players are going to lead the practice. Here's Bryce Young and Ike Ekwonu. I'm not saying that, but little things like, all right, Xavier, break it down. And he's the guy that goes in the middle and says team on 3. Little things like choosing them for media opportunities. Little things that just put them forward and allow everybody to recognize, oh, that's somebody we need to pay attention to. A bye week's a good time for that kind of stuff. Bye week's a really good time for that kind of stuff.
And the mental, like you said, the mental reset for a lot of these guys. Because you've gone through all of OTAs and obviously all through training camp. And then right on after that,
and then
6 straight games.
Punched in the face 6 straight times.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Go home, put your feet up, turn your phone off. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah,
like that kind of deal.
For most of the team, absolutely.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fine. Unless you're coming in for rehab and treatment. Otherwise, get out of here.
Yeah, and rehab and treatment, by the way, because this would happen even in college. Mm-hmm. Certain rehabs and treatment, our head coach would tell the assistants not to be in the training room.
Yeah.
They would say, like, listen, they're coming in for treatment. I want them to have their headphones on. I want them to be laughing and joking with each other. Mm-hmm. Like, they're here for treatment. They're not here to be grilled on why they didn't, run the right route on 3rd down.